Hey everybody, it's me, Bluey, your boy, and today I'm playing more Balatro. Now, last time we did the green deck on gold stakes, and this time I'm going to do the black deck. Now, as you can see, I already have the gold stake win on this. That's because I'm recording the commentary after the fact. And I did that because the black deck is so repetitive to get through the early game that eventually I just got tired of giving, similar commentary over and over and over. So I just started just grinding out seeds until I got a winning run without giving commentary. So I'm giving it now. So the black deck, last time I thought the green deck was going to be really hard, and it turned out to not be. The black deck is brutal on gold stake. It's so hard. I do not find this deck fun to play at all on the highest stakes. So the black deck gives you 1+ Joker slot, which sounds fantastic, but -1 hand every round, which is a lot worse than it seems. On gold stake, we have -1 discard from the blue stake, so that hurts our draw power. And then we have -1 hand size from the gold stake, which obliterates our draw power. With only 7 cards in hand and only 2 discards, we can barely see half our deck. And with the -1 hand every round, sometimes you have to play a burner hand and get rid of junk in your hand because you ran out of discards just to find the hand that you're trying to make. And you don't have enough hands to do that. So on so many runs with the black deck, you can't even get out of Ante 2. So this just took several hours for me to get a good run going, and I'm just going to cut to that and give commentary over it. Okay, and here we are. This is the end of the failed run right before the winning run, and as you can see, I didn't really have much going on here. Now, the other thing that you're probably going to notice is there's no game audio, and that's because I was just listening to other music while playing. You can see this is an unseeded run, and right here in the first hand, we have a natural 4-of-a-kind aces in our hand, which is probably a really good sign that this is going to be a lucky seed. Okay, now you can see we got 1 hand, and we only have $6 in hand. We can't afford anything. We can't reroll. We just have no money with this deck. Now, on this second blind, you have to play 2 hands pretty much no matter what. Unless you get a joker in the first shop, you have to be playing a hand. So I'm going for this. You have to be playing 2 hands. So I'm going for this middle straight here. And I do manage to get it, but I still have to play 1 more hand, and I have no discards, which is a big problem. But fortunately, I have this 2 pair, which I think can get me over the edge here. Nope, then I have to play 1 more hand, and that other 2 pair gets me there. So as you see, I had to use all 3 hands, and I'm only getting $5 for that. So still, don't have a lot of money. Now, the Wrathful Joker, it's not great, but it helps. So I'm going to pick that up, and then I'm just going to be trying to go for my spade cards. So we're just throwing away junk here. We're looking again. And then we have to use a hand to throw away more junk to search for another spade to get a flush. And then we have to use another hand to keep searching because this deck has no draw power. And we had to get a spade on that hand or we were going to lose. Okay, so that's the first ante down. And with this deck, you can just not get any good jokers in the first 2 shops, and then you might just die on the first boss. Now, I'm looking at Ramen. It is ×2 molt, but we're going to be discarding a lot. So I'm deciding if I want to buy it or not. The Drunkard would be a good choice, but I think I go with the Paintbrush here. And that will increase my hand size, which will make the rest of the run more consistent. Now I'm looking at this coupon tag. It would, since I don't have any money, again, because I just bought that tag, or I just bought that voucher, I'm eyeing if this coupon tag is worth skipping a shop, and I do decide to do that. So this next shop that I'm going to be going into, I know for a fact that I can just buy everything. So that's going to be more useful than maybe not finding anything in the first shop. And I think I'm going for another flush here. We get a straight. And we have to play all 3 hands already because the blinds just scale so fast in the high stakes. Okay, so we had no hands remaining again. Now, these jokers are kind of bad. We get the 4-of-a-kind joker and the swashbuckler, which is doing nothing for us right now. Now, the bean is great. increases our hand size even further, so we can almost guarantee that we'll find the flushes. I'm just kind of weighing if any of these things are worth getting, and I think I just go for the Temperance. So all face cards are drawn face down, so there might be a bunch of spades hidden in the face cards that we're going to be discarding. And I'm kind of eyeing this full house here with the spade, which will get it a little bit higher scoring, but I need more than that. I'm just figuring out what I'm discarding. And now we have this full house, the 5s and 4s, that have 2 spades, so I think that's what I play. But I will need to play another hand after that. And I think I just discard and look for a flush, because I have 3 spades in hand, and I've already seen half my deck. And unfortunately, there's probably spades hidden in the face cards that I'm discarding. I have no way of telling. And then I'm down to 1 hand again, as is always the case with this deck on the low stakes. So no money from hands again. It's just so hard to get money going with the black deck in the early game. Okay, another Temperance is good. And that will put us over $25. So I buy the voucher. So I'm going to see bigger shops. So I don't think I buy anything here. I think I just take the $19 and run. I'm kind of eyeing the Arcana pack. Oh, I do take it. And I think the only thing that's worth getting is the Emperor. You know, I could take the steel card, but once the bean runs out, I'm never going to find the steel card and a hand to play, right? Okay, and the 50 chips on that Clever Joker is actually nice. Now it's actually doing something for us. You know, don't underestimate chips. I underestimated chips for a long time when I started playing, and having a good chip source in addition to a mult source and a times mult source is fantastic. And I actually get another 4 of a kind here. I don't notice it for a while, but I have that 4 of a kind 10s in the middle. And that actually lets us use the 4 of a kind Joker, the Clever Joker, I think it's called, and get the full, which is surprising, but, you know, that's cool. Okay, now that is very good. Not only is the mail-in rebate great for money, which we're not finding, but it has the 10 mult on it. And I buy the Pluto there because usually you want to be switching into something like a high card or like a pair for the second half of a gold stakes run, just because it's so much more consistent than looking for straights or flushes. And I actually get a lot of utility out of this thing. So I already made $6 with it. And we're just barely not hitting that with 1 flush. So I think I actually search for hearts here, just because I have 4 in hand. Yeah, this looks like that's what I'm doing. And then I have a straight with 2 spades in it. So that's probably my best bet. And I actually had a hand left over for once. So, you know, things are starting to get good. And then here is where the whole strategy changes. The Stuntman is fantastic on gold stakes. It allows you to basically just play high card, which is 100% consistent. So now I'm going to get rid of the Turtle Bean with the +2 hand size. I'm going to take the Stuntman with the -2 hand size. So I just lost 4 hand size. And then if you pair that with the Blackboard, which is also like goes really well with the Stuntman, Blackboard is ×3 mult if there's no red cards remaining in your hand. Well, you know, if you're playing high card, just play all the red cards. Like that. And then you get the 300 chips, which is fantastic, and the ×3 mult. So that just increased our scoring ability like 5 times over. So now things are actually looking pretty promising, right? They weren't before. They were looking kind of iffy, but now they're looking good. You know, I'm in the shop. I'm just weighing my options here. Now, the fortune teller really isn't going to be that good. It's probably better than the 50 chips, maybe. It's, you know, it's close. But that +5 mult, and we're not really able to get a lot of tarot cards right now, so it's not going to be growing, really isn't very good. You know, most of my score is coming from the Stuntman and the Blackboard right now. So, I'm just looking for the cards that I can discard with the mail-in rebate. And then for some reason I go for a pair, even though I just leveled up high card. Maybe I thought that it would score a little bit better because high card's only level 2. I'm eyeing that Wee Joker. I think that would be a fun thing for gold stake, but it's not going to fit with what we're doing. You have to look for 2s, and you're not going to do that with 5 hand size. Okay, we find another Pluto already, so the high card build is looking great. And we just play that 2. Or whatever. So I think the fortune teller is actually worse than the 50 chips we were getting. And I'm just going to get rid of the fortune teller because the money from the gold joker is just way better than a little bit of molt. It's much, much better. And we find a hermit, so that makes opening the Arcana pack worth it. I'm just kind of seeing, will any of this other stuff help me? And not really, because I'm just playing high card, so you don't really need to be getting anything else out of there. Okay, now I find the egg. It also has the plus 10 molt modifier, and it pairs really well with the swashbuckler. So every single turn, the egg will just go up in value $3. The swashbuckler will go up in value for the egg going up in value. It will give more molt for the egg going up in value. Now, the problem with doing something like that is you're basically building your setup here around the egg swashbuckler combo. And so if you want to get out of one of them to get a different joker, you have to get out of both of them. Like, you can't just sell the egg now and pick up a different joker, because that will just kill your flat mole rate, right? And now those temperance cards are also going to be really good with the egg. So that's like one upshot to doing the egg swashbuckler, is the egg just gets more and more valuable, which makes temperance get more and more valuable. But yeah, like, you can't just get out of the egg. You also have to get out of the swashbuckler, and then whatever you get into has to have high enough molt to make up for that. And so, the egg swashbuckler isn't the best strategy, but it does work here. And then I sold that tarot card just to get the $1 for the interest on the 30. Yeah, so I'm always just looking for cards to discard with the mail-in rebate. So, our score is growing. It's just not growing fast enough. Like, pretty soon the blinds are going to be outpacing us again. So we will be looking for something else to replace some of our jokers. So I was looking at the boss there, and I think it's 0 discards. And I was like thinking, oh, can I do that? And of course I can, because I'm not even using discards. Right? I'm only using discards for the mail-in rebate at this point. And now we're getting a ton of money, so now money's not an issue. Okay, here I pick up the card sharp. What the card sharp does is, if you have already played that hand on that round, it gives you a ×3. Now, that sounds really good, and pair that with our blackboard, so we're getting ×9. We're going to be set for a long time. The problem with card sharp is there's a boss that only allows you to play one hand total. So the card sharp ends up being a dead card in your hand, and that obliterates your scoring capability. And I move the swashbuckler to the right just because on the first hand, the card sharp is doing nothing. So we might as well get its sell value added to our score. Or it's all face cards are debuffed, so that also doesn't really matter, right? Because I can just play the 8, or I can just discard all of them and get better stuff, right? Yeah, so we lost the 10 molt from the mail-in rebate, but look how high we're going to be scoring now. We got almost 100,000 points just for having the card sharp in our hand. And we're getting $17 per round, plus the value from the egg if I choose to sell it later. And I'm just looking for Pluto cards now, make that high card more and more consistent. At this point, tarot cards are pretty much worthless to me, other than like Temperance and Hermit to get more money. So we do have to be playing multiple hands again, but it's fine. You know, I'm getting plenty of money. I don't need to be getting that extra $1. I'm getting so much money I don't even know what to do with it all. You know, I'm weighing if it's worth losing 2 interest going down from 50 to 40 on that. And I decide that it is. And that actually comes up later. And it doesn't necessarily help us. You know, so I am deciding, you know, is the chariot worth it there? Maybe, like, for the final round, having a steel card in hand will help us get over the finish line. So, you know, the high card build is very consistent for gold stakes, but it's boring, right? There's nothing really interesting going on anymore. It's literally just playing one card and then playing one more card all the way to the end of the game. Yeah, no, those temperances are really good. I opened this. I should have probably used the temperance first. And then I could find it again in the pack, possibly. That 4 of a kind joker keeps coming up, and then I get another temperance. You know, I'm deciding, is the double tag worth it? I think I'm well past the point of using skips. It's much better to always just play the round and get into the shop unless you really need early game consistency. So spade cards are debuffed. That doesn't matter. I'm playing red cards anyway, so it doesn't matter. And then for some reason, I'm deciding if I want to play the pair. I don't know why I would. Okay, now you see the ramen again. The ramen is worth it now because we're not discarding ever. We don't need to discard. So the ramen will always stay at 2 multiplier. So now we have ×2, ×3, times basically the card sharp is a 2. You know, it's ×1 on the first hand, ×3 on the second hand. So it's an average of ×2. So we have ×2, ×2, ×3. So now our score is really going to be going up there. And I do manage to find 2 more Plutos in the shop, which is very cool. And I decided to buy the voucher just so I can find more Plutos in the shop. Okay, I'm seeing that extra large blind on the wall. And I have to kind of figure out here, am I going to be able to score high enough to beat that? And I'm just kind of hesitating here for some reason. I don't know why. Always got to move that over. Get that extra 3 flat mult, right? That's the most important part. And then I guess I was drunk here because I don't know why I'm having so much trouble picking my hand here. Okay, so with one hand, without the card sharp, we're hitting 100,000. And then if we have 2 more hands with 300,000, of course we can beat the big blind, right? So I'm feeling pretty good here. Might as well thin the deck some more, get some more red cards out of the deck. Why not? And I'm deciding if I want to gamble on that spectral pack. And I think I don't get anything here. I guess I use the cryptid on the ace just to, you know, get more black cards in the deck. It doesn't, this does not matter at all. And I'm selling this just so I can get the $1 to go up to 40 for the interest. So now we're hitting over 100,000 without using the card sharp. So that's fantastic because of those Plutos we found. And, you know, I'm just doing the shop thing here. Probably the Emperor is better, but I would have to, like, I wouldn't have to do that. I could use the Emperor for 1 random card. But we do get a Temperance, so it ends up being worth it. And Death, unless we have the Steel card in our hand, Death doesn't do anything for us. You know, I'm just looking for whatever. Okay, here I'm deciding if the burnt joker is worth it. So if you just discard one card, then Pluto, your high card levels up. But there's only 3 rounds left before the final boss, so that will do literally nothing for me. And what do I even get rid of? At this point, I kind of need every card that I'm holding to hit the big numbers, right? I can't get rid of the egg, because then the swashbuckler is useless, and then I have no flat molt, right? So I'm kind of stuck with both of those cards. And then the campfire, I'm considering I have 2 things right here I can sell just for the campfire, but then I would have no flat molt, right? And I think we're going to be able to hit this extra large blind. What do you think? Yeah, now if we're getting ×3. We have the steel card in hand, which I didn't notice. I should have made another one with the death card, but that's all right. And we obliterated that big blind there. And I'm just looking for more Plutos and I guess temperance cards at this point. Oh, we have 4 cards in the shop to look through, which is a lot. We're just looking for Plutos, basically. And then we have the Fool, so I get another Pluto here, which is great. Yeah, like the ×4 on a card, or the +4 molt on a card, might help us out a bit, right? We might actually want that. And I forget to play the death card here again. I have the steel card again, and I forget to play it. Always got to move that for the 3 flat molt, though, right? And we hit 500,000 with just 2 hands there, so I'm feeling pretty confident for the boss. So 1 random joker disabled every hand, that's actually a problem. If the card sharp gets disabled on the first round, it doesn't change anything. But on the second hand, any of our cards getting disabled means that we cannot hit the numbers. I'm pretty sure, I don't know for sure, but I'm just kind of thinking, doing some rough mental math, and I'm not confident that I can hit this 360 if any of my cards are disabled. So I reroll it, and I got another very large blind. So I have to hit 1 million, and I'm thinking that I can probably do it, but either one of those is just not something I really want to be going up against. Okay, so I'm getting about 300,000 with the card sharp active. And here in this shop, we just go crazy with these temperance cards, and they're all giving $50. They're all completely maxed. So I'm giving about 300,000 with the card sharp. So if I only get that twice, 600,000 plus 100,000 or whatever, that's nowhere near enough. That's not going to get us anywhere. And then that steel card I've been holding on to, just waste it. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing in this shop. We find another temperance. I think that's the 3rd one that we found in this shop. Oh, and then we got another +10 mold. That's fantastic. And then we get another temperance and a Pluto. This shop just goes nuts, and it's the final shop of the game. We get another Pluto. So I think that's the 3rd one in this shop. And 4 temperances. We got another Pluto. So this is really just what I'm using all that money for, is finding Plutos and more temperances to find more Plutos. All these jokers are junk. None of these are going to do anything for me. Another Pluto. What is that, like 5 or 6? Spin the wheel again. Nope. Okay, here is interesting. What I'm looking at is the banana, because I want the gold sticker on the banana. But if I get rid of the egg and the swashbuckler, my flat molt, it gets obliterated. And I don't know if I can hit 1 million in 3 hands if my molt, basically drops by 75%. I have no idea. I'm also looking at that baseball card, that's like an exponent card. That might get us there, but then I have to sell something. What do I sell? Probably the card sharp. The burglar would also be interesting. That would give us 6 hands. But then what do I sell? Right? We kind of need every card in our hand to hit the number, right? To hit 1,000,000 points. And I'm just not sure on anything here. You know, I'm reasonably certain I can get it with what I have in hand, but any of these things would be nice. I just don't know if I can get there with them. So I spent a long time here just kind of thinking about this, but I think I didn't take anything. I just stayed with what I had. You know, I want the gold sticker on the banana and the burglar, but I don't think this is the run to do that. You know, the Empress will help get us there. Every little bit will help. And I think the reroll was like $17 or something, so I just didn't do anything. Yeah, the devil isn't doing anything for us. Like, I'm not going to continue into unlimited with this, so, or endless, whatever it's called. Yeah, then I might as well make both of, or discard them, I'm not sure. Might as well make both of those mold cards. You know, every little bit is going to help. And we have the steel card in hand, which is super lucky. Okay, now how many points are we going to get from the Swashbuckler? If we got 220,000, this should be 660, right? And it was only 600 for some reason. I'm not sure why. But we did manage to beat 1,000,000 points with 3 cards. So that was the black deck. And this deck is no fun at all, in my opinion. It just doesn't really have anything good going for it. It has so many downsides on gold stake and no real upside. So, you know, I'm going to keep making these Balatro videos. And my name is Bluey, and thanks for watching.